You're listening to the Rewrite the Rules podcast. We are your hosts. My name is Harriet.
I'm Beth.
And I'm Natalie.
You want to work towards achieving true food and body image freedom, you are in the right place.
Rewrite the Rules podcast is your survival guide to letting go of harmful societal expectations and unlearning any unhelpful beliefs that are stopping you from having a healthy and loving relationship with food and yourself.
Our mission is to help you feel heard, understood, and empower you to step out of the box and rewrite your rules so you can live life on your terms. Thank you for tuning in.
Hi everyone.
Hello guys.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Rewrite the Rules. This is an exciting episode as we are all here to host.
Yes, it's so good to be back together. So in today's episode, we're going to be discussing how you can enjoy the gym and physical exercise whilst also rejecting the diet culture expectations that come with it.
Yes, this is such an important topic and I'm so excited to discuss it. And this is a requested topic for us on TikTok. So as always, if you guys ever want us to do an episode, feel free to comment on any of our socials and just request anything and we'll do it.
Definitely, but without further ado, shall we discuss why navigating the gym/physical exercise sort of can be so difficult when you're trying to ditch the diet and learn to find peace with your body?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's important to discuss why the gym and physical exercise is so attached to diet culture.
Yeah, so shall I start? Because obviously we were going to talk about the messaging around why exercising is mainly put on us with the aim to achieve the perfect body. I mean, for me, and I took like a long think about it, it was always put to me, or I always thought as the message that came across with exercise was more heavily than anything else imposed that if you exercise, you join a gym, you join a run club, you lift weights, you will lose weight and it will help you towards the goal of achieving this sort of said perfect body. And for me, it was always as simple as that. Like, I just saw it as you do this exercise, you have this outcome. And for instance, I believe that if I followed a personal trainer, a fitness influencer on Instagram, I saw their slogans, or I saw a YouTube video and it was like 4 exercises to give you abs, follow this workout to achieve a thigh gap, then I genuinely thought that if I did those exercises, I would get that aesthetic, body-wise. And I do think that we genuinely fall into a trap of believing that if we do these exercises, we will gain these results, when in reality, the fact of the matter is probably not, because as humans, we're all different. Obviously, coming away from caring so much about how I look and wanting to achieve this perfect body, that's not my main goal anymore. But at that time, when you really do think about it, we are, like I said, so different. We've got different DNA, different metabolisms, our bodies react to exercise very differently, and it's a combination of so many other things. I think it's kind of put on us that it's as easy as that.
Yeah.
As easy as just doing this exercise. And also, what I don't like about that is that it also promotes exercises only to be performed for this outcome. And I still think we have a long way to come, but I feel that it's only recently that we've shifted these views very slightly, I think, but it's to realise that exercise or the movement of our bodies, can be focused on for sort of the mental benefits that they have. But yeah, that's my kind of experience. I don't know if you feel the same way.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. I mean, even just thinking about it now, the majority of the time, especially on social media, when you see exercise being promoted, the body is the main focus, isn't it? And I guess it's really obvious why it connects so much to diet culture, because diet culture is where thinness and certain body types are more valued than others. And so it makes sense how it's all connected. I think most really typical gym accounts all focus on the body. I haven't yet really come across a load of accounts where that's not the main focus, when there's so many other benefits to movement and exercise. It's like it's just so ingrained that going to the gym and exercising is to achieve a certain body type, is to change your body in some way. And Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Do you think
Yeah.
you can ever separate those two things?
Well, this is the thing as well. I do feel like it's such a thing of as well that it's only seen as sort of one body type
Yeah,
is healthy,
yeah.
is fit, and that's not the case with this message that they're putting out. It is that, well, if you have this thin athletic frame, that is fitness, that is a gym body, that is healthy, when
Mm,
that can be so deceiving. That's
mhm.
so deceiving.
Wow.
But
Absolutely.
yeah, I do still think, like you say, with going on Instagram, and there's still such a long way to come with how these fitness pages are and what they promote and what they show, because it is still so heavily influenced on going to the gym, losing weight, getting abs.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And something else
Absolutely.
I thought about when it comes to like why is gym and physical exercise so attached to diet culture? I know this isn't the case of like all gyms, but stereotypically the gym environment, lack of a better word, can be feel quite like hard and a bit like aggressive. Aggressive may be the wrong word, but quite like this is a no excuses zone. This is where you just put in the hard work. It's hard, but you do it anyway. It's all about discipline. It's very like hustle culture,
Yeah.
no excuses. It's quite hard, isn't it? And I know not I'm not a gym expert or haven't been to every single gym in the world. So I know this isn't all gyms, but I think often when I think of a gym, I do think of that quite hard environment. And I guess it's full of machinery and like, weights, and it's very like, do you know what I mean? Like, so it's like
Yeah.
hard. And
Intimidating as well.
yeah. And I guess diet culture in a lot of ways can be like that, no excuses. Do it even if it feels bad. Don't eat the foods that you love. Eat the foods that make you lose weight, make you thin, make you fit, whatever. It's very just like, we don't care about your feelings. It's just about following this routine, following this plan and doing it no matter even if you're suffering, you got to do it. And I think some gym environments can also reflect that same narrative. So again, I can draw those parallels there as well.
Yeah,
Definitely.
completely
And
agree.
I think from someone, I've only ever been to like commercial gyms. So I haven't like experienced that sort of what I'd probably describe as like gym bro culture. But there's
Mm,
many gyms in my area that I would never step foot in because I know exactly what's going on the inside.
mm,
And I'm like, no, I don't need that. But I think it's so important that one of the biggest messages people take away from this episode is to not follow other people's gym programs. I have done everyone else's workout before I decided to like figure out what worked best for my body. And it can
mm,
leave you feeling so inadequate when you've spent months and months and months dedicating your time to following a gym program, whether it be the 4 exercises to get you abs or the best 3 glute workouts to get legs like a girl you've seen on Instagram, and you follow it and you put the time in to then look in the mirror and think, I look nothing like her by the end of it. It leaves you feeling so inadequate and you feel so confused. You think you've done something wrong. And it was only after a couple of years of being within the gym, I was like, oh my God, everyone could follow the exact same diet, the exact same routine, and we would still look all the same and still look completely different, sorry. And I know it's so cliche, but it's so true. And that's like the biggest thing I want to reiterate is that we are still all going to look completely different. And there's no point. Yes, use videos on TikTok and Instagram for inspiration. If it can make your gym routine a little bit more fun, if it can give you new exercises, that's really exciting and that's really good. But don't just do an exercise because you think it's going to have X results, because most of the time it's probably just a really catchy title for a video. They want clicks, they want views, they want likes. And once you realize that you can sort of step back and see it, but whilst you're in it, it's very difficult.
100%. And it all follows like trends as well, doesn't it? Whenever sounds so crazy that there's body trends, but whenever there's a new body trend, there's always a gush of workout videos where it says, if you do this, then you get that, or it heavily implies it. I think these days,
Yeah.
people aren't directly saying that because they know that's not true, but they're still implying it. Whether they're like,
Yeah.
this is how I got this body. I'm going to show you how. Here you go. Knowing full well that people are going to copy that routine because they think that they'll get what you've got. So, yeah, it's just so connected in that way, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I think the two times where I saw that the most obviously in the past year, and the second I saw it, I was able to be like, oh my God, this is just another trend that I've fallen for 1,000 times before, was first with the hula hooping trend. People were buying weighted hula hoops with the intention of being like, I am going to get X body type. And then secondly was with Pilates in the past couple of months. I just started seeing it appear on my For You page of women being like, I've got quicker results physically with Pilates than I have any other sport or any other exercise. And I just saw the immediate reaction from women being like, oh my God, this is going to be the exercise that fixes it all for me. And a lot of people jumped on it for the sole reason of gaining X body type. And I was like, oh my God, it's crazy that I'm now seeing this straight up for what it is, if you know what I mean.
Oh my God, definitely. Especially with the Pilates. I saw that.
Yeah, same,
So,
same.
like, the messaging was literally like, when you realize that you don't have to go to the gym, you can just do Pilates and get this.
Yeah, and it's
You know?
very celebrity culture as well. I think
Mhm.
that's why it's like it's deemed as this again magic fix because there are so many celebrities and they've lost so much weight and it's like
Mm.
of course we're all going to look at that and think, oh, okay, so if we do the same then we're going to get those results. But
Mm.
like you said, that Beth, it is important because going through all of those things we now really do see it for what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the end of the day, we want you to be able to find a way of moving your body that makes you the happiest in the quickest way. We don't want you to have to waste your time going to the gym if you don't like going to the gym. We don't want you to have to waste your time and money buying a hula hoop if you don't actually enjoy hula hooping.
100%.
But in terms of like how we started separating exercise from like diet culture, I feel like I once again had it really easy with having to recover during lockdown. My ability to overtrain was like completely disabled. It's so hard to, walk for 2 hours if you don't have a treadmill. It's so hard to burn X amount of calories with weights if you don't have many weights at home. Like it was my ability to overtrain was just taken away from me. And also not having to stare at my body every day in the gym mirrors was like a blessing. Oh my God. And it's only when all the mirrors were removed and I was left with like the 3 that I've got at home, I realized how much time I spent just staring at my body. And I would spend most of my time not even focusing on the workout. Like that's how bad it got in the end. I was just staring at my body whilst I was throwing the weight from A to B. And it's like so miserable looking back, but not having the ability to do that and being stuck at home was actually really helpful. And I think at a time where everyone else had to like slow down and start enjoying the simple things. And I think a lot of people really took it back to basics, didn't they? And I did too. So I had to like redevelop my passion for exercise and a passion for how it made me feel instead of how it was going to change my body. So I started getting up each morning to do a walk or to do a workout because I'm like, this is really going to benefit my mental health today. And then there was no other reason for it. And I just think that was such an amazing, special moment. But I think it's just really important to question what exercise are you doing and why are you doing it? Even if you think you're in a really good space right now, I thought I was in really good space. Okay. You need to actively question, actively analyze your behaviors. And could any of your behaviors be slightly harmful? And sort of obviously reflecting and dissecting my relationship with the gym, I realized I was just attempting at that time, I was just attempting to achieve a body type, the most popular body type at the time, which was smaller waist, big glutes. And that's like the only reason I was turning up. Yes, I enjoyed being there and the mental health benefits, but what got me up in the morning was a big bum and a tiny waist. And that was like my motivation. And I just, with like gyms opening back up, I actually decided to move gyms. I didn't go back to my old one. And I just really felt that that was like part of my healing process and like needing to start fresh, because we speak often about how important environment is and how important sometimes like changing things up can be the push to fully get you out of that habit or out of that pattern. But it didn't stop there. I just feel like even over the past 2 years, my relationship with exercise has done nothing but evolve. And I think that's really good. Like, that's what you're aiming for. You want to be able to find new things to do every couple of months. And like, I'm now very intuitive with exercise. Yeah. Like each week I can do like a mixture of weight training, HIIT training, skipping, walking. I mean, I love Just Dance. We all know how much I love Just Dance. And even yesterday, I felt quite anxious. And I was like, you know what will make me feel better? 20 minutes of Just Dance. And it really did. And like, I love like the Ring Fit that you get for the Switch. I play that all the time. And it's just finding things that are going to make you feel a lot better, and just focus on yourself and just stop looking at what anyone else is doing. I felt so silly being like, oh, my form of exercise today is going to be dancing around to like Footloose. And now I do it without shame, and it feels so good and it makes me so happy. So I hope that's like inspiration for anyone else to just say,
I'm so
F it.
inspired.
I am.
Beth, you need to get a discount code for Just an affiliate link.
Become like an ambassador.
Yeah, you need to.
Honestly, I think I've got quite a lot of people onto it, so I need an affiliate link and a discount code, please.
We'll email them after this episode.
Yes. Yeah, I do tag them, but they ignore me. So
but keep tagging, keep going. I love that. That was so amazing to hear.
It really was.
Sorry for interrupting the episode, but we just want to give a very quick shout out to our sponsors, us.
If you're loving this episode and the podcast so far and want to support this podcast further, then head to the link in the show notes and show your appreciation by donating us a coffee. We'd massively appreciate it.
There are also other ways to support us for free, like dropping us a rating and review on whatever platform you're currently listening to us on. If you're watching us on YouTube, then please like and subscribe. And you can, of course, follow us on Instagram. It's at Rewrite the Rules Pod, and share our podcast with anyone that you think will love it.
We do all offer our own coaching and therapy packages if you would like to work with any of us. All links to those and more info are all once again in the show notes.
Now let's get back to the podcast.
So we're now going to give you guys some kind of like quick fire but effective tips to help you navigate movement in a healthier, happier way. And as much as possible, really try and separate your movement from diet culture or any toxic fitness culture.
Yes, absolutely. And I think my first tip follows on really well from what I was just saying anyway, on like how to navigate exercise in the gym, which is honestly just doing exercise that you seriously enjoy. Ignore how you think you should be exercising. Trust yourself, trust your body, trust what your body is telling you. It really does not matter what anyone else is doing. I know it feels like it does sometimes, but it's not a competition. Your mental and physical health is what needs to be prioritized, and you need to do what works for you.
Definitely. And that's where the very simple question of asking yourself, why am I doing this, is so important.
Yeah.
So
dig deep.
My next tip is, it might be quite hard, but really try to ditch the counting calories and moving away from numbers in general if it's negatively affecting you. And I guess the main symptoms would be obsessing over the numbers, feeling really guilty if you feel like you're going over the numbers or even under. I know for a lot of people, they really struggle with protein and feeling like I'm not getting enough protein. And the thing is, if you're going to the gym or engaging in movement, being very numbers focused, then you're making it really easy for yourself to get caught up in these calculations. And it takes you away from being in your body and puts you very much in your head, because everything is now a mental calculation. And it's a thought process where, bringing it back to basics is really thinking about your body and how your body feels, engaging in that movement. So try and take yourself out of your head. And one way to do this is leaving the numbers behind, going to the gym or moving in a way where it doesn't matter how many calories you're burning. It doesn't matter how much protein you've had that day. It's about engaging in the movement.
Yeah,
I love
that. Really love that. And yes, my next tip is to reevaluate your exercise goals. So, are you only exercising to achieve a set body type? And that's why a follow on from that is to try and create a movement goal that isn't purely body based. So, in my experience, I remember when I first joined the run group that I'm with now, I very much viewed it as, this is the most exercise I'm going to do all week. I'm probably going to be doing about 8 miles on a Sunday. And that was always probably after I'd had a binge on a Saturday, and I would go out on the Sunday, and that's all I saw it as. And in the end, I would, like I say, I would focus on, well, how many calories has my watch told me that I've burned? And now I go to this run group, I take that off. I don't look at the calories, and I take it as like me completely being free of my phone. I'm with a group of people, and I see it as my sort of switch off. Like, it's the only part of my week that I don't have any distractions, and it's the best therapy. I see it now as completely that. So yeah, just shifting your focus onto, why do you want to do this apart from burning set amount of calories? And I think that's so helpful.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioning about taking your watch off, please ditch the watch if you're obsessing over it. And as someone, like, I literally wear my Apple Watch most days. I love it. Okay. And you can still track workouts, it can still be motivating and exciting. I can definitely see the fun in them now, but I can very obviously see the harm in them. And obviously they joke about, oh, did you even work out if you didn't track it? That's like a running joke. And it's funny until it actually impacts your workouts. And I would literally get so angry and upset if I'd started moving my body and I hadn't started tracking the exercise. I would get, I would get furious if it wasn't tracking it properly, if it wasn't tracking my heart rate. I would get stressed out in the middle of the gym. I would get really, honestly, like, I'd just pause my workouts to just try and like fix my watch if it wasn't working properly. And if I had got to the gym and I forgot to put my watch on, I was honestly close to tears. And I was like, this is going to be the worst workout of my life. It won't count, blah, blah, blah. It was horrendous. And if you are feeling like that, if you can't go a day without having your watch on, you've got an issue. Okay. So I would recommend trying to take it off on rest days. This is how, like, you can build yourself up, because I understand it feels uncomfortable to try and do it straight off the bat. So even if you just try and like delay putting it on in the mornings, then try and go a whole day without it, then try and go a whole weekend. And that's how I worked myself up to the point of, it doesn't matter whether I've got it on or off. And yeah, just using it as like baby steps to the point where you could take a whole weekend off. It doesn't matter whether you're wearing it or whether you're not. Because at the end of the day, these watches were built to just be a tool. Okay, there's loads of tools that you can use and they shouldn't affect your day ever. It's also obviously used to tell the time as well, but please, yes, let it motivate you to be more active, because if you're sitting on your bum all day, that's not going to be healthy for you either. But if you are focusing on the numbers, if the second you finish your workout you are staring right at the calories, we've got a problem. And I think maybe you need to start working on your relationship with your watch and on your relationship with numbers in general, and start leaving it behind. Because you should be able to do a workout without wearing it and feel no anxiety, or not feel like your thoughts are just constantly thinking about how many calories you're burning. And because it's supposed to be fun, they're supposed to be motivating, and that's all it is. But if it's making you feel stressed, then that problem needs addressing.
100%. Oh my gosh. There were times where I go to the gym, realize I haven't charged my watch, so I literally just wouldn't go.
Yeah, when it shows it's got low battery and you're like, the day is ruined.
The day is ruined. I love that though, Beth. And that leads quite nicely into my next tip, which is really understanding that fun movement is still movement, and finding new hobbies and new activities to try that aren't the stereotypical gym exercises. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with like typical workouts at all, but even of course in this episode we've encouraged you guys to ask yourself why you're doing an exercise, and I think those sort of workouts are so ingrained in our mind that it might actually be hard to understand why we're doing that. So I think regardless, it can be such a good idea to try new activities, try new hobbies, and understand that is still movement and that's still good for you. And, taking off the watch, not tracking it not having to be anything to do with numbers or anything to do with stereotypical workouts. It's just you and movement. So yeah, experiment with new forms of exercise. Like I went trampolining a few months ago and it was so much fun. I was honestly in hysterics for the first 10 minutes because I just found it so funny. I went with my boyfriend and seeing him just like jump up and down, it just made me laugh so much. I just thought it was hilarious.
Brilliant.
And these trampolines were so bouncy. Like I don't remember them being so bouncy. I honestly, I thought I was flying. And it was so much fun. And it was such a good form of movement. And other forms of exercise, obviously Just Dance. We're waiting for Beth's discount code. Hopefully that will come soon. No pressure.
I need that because I love it so much.
I want
and
it
it's
so
just
much.
It's reverting back to being a child, isn't it? And I think it's just so exciting.
Honestly, like hiking, I love like every now and then going on a hike, even though that is hard work. But it's still fun and you see really beautiful views. And sometimes it's even, thinking about what you liked as a child, just running around, just getting that energy out. I just like playing with your pets, being silly, like that is movement and it's fun. And I'm just so passionate about that tip because I think it can just help you in so many different ways, just bringing that fun back into your life.
Yeah, because there are the mental benefits of exercise, but with the added benefit of the fact you actually really enjoy it, there are times where it's like, I used to do like HIIT workouts and I'd be like, this is such a long slog. Am I actually really enjoying this? What better way to feel the benefits of movement than to go on a hike and have sort of the reward of seeing the scenery that you love or seeing a sunrise or sunset? So I love that tip. But as well with that, another tip is not all exercise has to be done as we are shown, which for me was always this intense hardcore, sweaty workout. And I remember me and my friend always used to look at each other and be like, I haven't sweated, so I don't feel like I've worked out. And it took such a long time to realize that that should not be the main outcome of exercise. Just because you didn't break a sweat doesn't mean that that movement isn't valid or it doesn't count, because it is so much more important to focus on the mental benefits than the physical. But it can be any form of exercise. You can still do light exercise, and for me that's kind of like yoga. It could just be stretching, it could be a really short walk, just because you have a 15-minute podcast that you really want to listen to, but you want to be outside and listen to it, and it's about doing what makes your soul happy. And like you were talking about there, Harriet, like trampolining, like you're laughing, it's making your soul happy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. My favorite thing, you girls both know this, I just freaking love voice noting and walking, listening and actually making a voice. I can't listen to a voice note unless I'm walking.
Yeah, we definitely all three of us, I think, are like lovers of a voice note, aren't we?
Yeah, voice note queen.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it all goes back to just asking yourself how it makes you feel. Okay, like if you love yoga and it makes you feel good during and it makes you feel empowered after, then carry on, as long as you're just quickly asking yourself that question. If you love lifting weights and that makes you feel strong and empowered, that's great. Just ask yourself the question first, question why you're doing it. And like a little thing I did to sort of stop focusing as much on my body and just start enjoying the movement within the gym was like setting goals that had nothing to do with my physical appearance. So it was like, oh, I want to aim to do 10 push-ups, I want to be able to do a pull-up, things like that. Just like switching your goals slightly to be like, oh, I want to be able to run for 20 minutes instead of burning X amount of calories. that can be like a really nice way of shifting your goals to work towards something that isn't what your body looks like. But at the end of the day, too much exercise isn't good for you. Not moving at all isn't good for you either. We don't want you to be on either end of the spectrum. You've got to find your happy middle somewhere in between. You know, I see some people that train like twice a day, and it's so easy to feel the pressure to be like, well, that's normal for them, that could be normal for me. And I fell into that trap for a long time of trying to do as much as other people were. And at the end of the day, you've just got to listen to yourself. And I did include like a little stat from Public Health England on like what they recommend, because we love statistics. So it said you should aim for 150 minutes of moderate exercise each week, and then 2 days undertaking muscle strengthening activities. So that could be weight training, that could be yoga. They even said that could be carrying the groceries in, as like a further example of just how you can move your body. But this isn't just for physical health, this is for mental health as well. You've got to do things that not just make you feel physically good, but mentally contribute to your life. Because at the end of the day, food, exercise, it should all be positively contributing. It should be adding to your life, not taking anything away. So just have a quick reevaluation of your current routine, because self-awareness is always key. Does it make you happy? Does it make you feel good? Is it enabling you to live your very best life and adding to your life? And if it isn't, then let's switch it up. But if it is, then great, we're happy for you.
Love it.
Yeah, and I think it's important as well because, as much as we are talking about the mental benefits, those physical benefits, that they should go hand in hand with that. And also, I know that I do still want those physical benefits because, for instance, I'm sure you girls see a lot of, with the older generation, wheelchair bound, difficult maybe some of them find it just to get around in their day-to-day life. And I do know that having a good, not exercise regime, I would say, but maybe being more mobile in my day-to-day life will benefit me later on in life. And I do want that. I want to be a parent and be able to help my children, walk them to school, all of those things, do physical exercise with them and not be out of breath, etc. So I think that can still focus on those physical benefits, but it's not making it the be all and the end all.
Yeah, like I want to get stronger so I can lift my suitcase. Honestly, because I pack a lot. It's always over 20 kg. I'm trying to get it off at the conveyor belt. It can get violent sometimes between me and the suitcase. The suitcase is being the violent one. So I want to take that power back. There's lots of reasons why you want to get stronger that have nothing to do with how you look. That's an important reminder. Love that.
Yes, but we really hope you loved this episode and that you found it helpful. And yeah, make sure you share it with a friend who you think will benefit from it as well.
Yes, definitely. And if you're not already, make sure that you're following us on the gram. It's at Rewrite the Rules Pod, all linked below, of course.
And also let us know what future episodes you want to listen to. If there's something you're struggling with right now, or you just want a bit of advice on, we are your girls. We love taking listener requests, and please do not hesitate. Don't be scared. Drop us a DM, leave a comment. We love to make these for you guys.
Yes, we do. We do. But until next time, we will see you later, guys.
Yes, thank you for listening.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.